Officer Derek Grant was a seasoned cop with a spotless record and a subtle prejudice, but a hypocrite. In fact, he was the worst officer. A bully, a terror in uniform, and a racist. He had used his position to bully a lot of black people, but karma got him soon because he met and bullied someone he shouldn't have. Subscribe and post in the comments where you're watching from. Maya James adjusted her hoodie as she left a small cafe late at night. It was a wild night, and her friends had argued over trivialities, leaving her walking alone through a quiet, predominantly white neighborhood. Maya was the new black kid that was trying to blend in with her peers, hence the hangout. She barely spoke at the party. She just wanted to go back home. Home at New York, not this place. She felt like an outsider, but she had no choice. Her father just got promoted and transferred. They had to move. She was so lost in thought that she barely noticed the police cruiser creeping behind her until it flashed its lights. Officer Derek Grant stepped out. He studied her for a while before blotting out. "You live around here?" he asked, his tone accusatory. "I'm just walking home," Maya replied evenly. Grant frowned. "Let me see some ID." Maya hesitated, knowing the drill. Unfortunately, she didn't have it on her. She sighed. She was already having a bad night. "I don't have it on me, but I'm not doing anything wrong." Her calm confidence irritated Grant. "Hands where I can see them. You can literally see my hands. You think you are smart, yeah? That you can talk to the officer of the law anyhow?" He grabbed her hands. "Wait, what are you doing?" She was shocked at his actions. "Stop resisting arrest." "Arrest? What? I didn't do anything." Despite her protests, Grant cuffed her, convinced she was up to no good. He decided against taking her to the precinct, opting for an empty holding room at a nearby station instead. "Is this even legal? This is kidnapping. I am doing my job as a cop. I won't have someone like you terrorizing the neighborhood. We will get you home tomorrow morning." "This is just a warning," Grant muttered as he locked her in. "Keep out of trouble." Morning arrived and Chief James was alarmed when Maya didn't come home. He was worried that she would want to come back home earlier and stayed up. When she didn't show up, he assumed that she was having a good time, and he decided to go to bed. He expected that she would sleep in. He was shocked to discover that she didn't make it home last night. He reached out to some of the contacts she dropped. But reaching out to her friends led nowhere. All the information they had was at the party earlier than others. He was alarmed and ordered an all-hands search. Grant was assigned to help. His stomach dropped when he saw the missing person's photo and name. Maya James. He replayed the night before in his head. The chief's daughter. The chief's daughter. Panic gripped him as he realized what he'd done. Determined to cover his tracks, he deleted his body cam footage and erased all records of her detainment. Meanwhile, Maya sat in the holding room, her anger mounting. She had tried reasoning with Grant, but his arrogance and bias left her furious. Using a hidden phone she'd kept concealed, she began recording her surroundings. "Someone will come for me," she whispered, trying to stay calm. She knew her father was going to start looking for her soon. "You seem off." Grant's partner, Officer Riley, noticed his unusual behavior during the search. "Just worried about the chief's kid," Grant replied, feigning concern. But Riley had seen enough of Grant's temper in the past to sense something was wrong. She began quietly retracing his movements from the previous night. Riley hated that she was the only one that knew how horrible Grant was. She was willing to expose him. Clues began to emerge. Maya had scratched her name onto a bench in the holding room and left subtle signs of her presence. Riley confronted Grant. "You were in the area she went missing, weren't you?" Grant tried to brush it off, but his vague answers only deepened her suspicion. When Riley discovered inconsistencies in his log from the previous night, she reported him to Internal Affairs. They looked into it and discovered that Riley was right. They checked his activities and discovered that he was the one who locked Maya up. They notified Chief James, who rushed to the station to get his daughter. A rush of relief and anger wrapped him when he saw his daughter locked up. He opened up and rushed to his daughter. He hugged her tightly and asked if she was okay. She confirmed that she was good. "It was Officer Grant," she said firmly. James felt a mix of anger and betrayal. He couldn't believe that he had a racist in his new place of office. "Get me Grant." Police apprehended him within hours, and a deeper investigation revealed a pattern of misconduct. racial profiling, falsified reports, and abuses of power, all swept under the rug. He was immediately fired and charged with these offenses. The scandal shook the department. Chief James faced difficult questions but vowed transparency. "My daughter's ordeal won't be in vain," he announced during a press conference. "We will rebuild trust, starting with accountability." Officer Riley was glad that Grant was finally exposed and that she helped out. Maya, shaken but resilient, turned her experience into a cause. She began speaking out against systemic injustice, inspiring others to demand change. "Justice isn't just about punishing the guilty," she said at a community event. "It's about making sure no one else has to suffer what I did." Under her father's leadership, the department implemented reforms, from mandatory bias training to stricter oversight of officers. Though it would take years to heal the damage, the James family remained committed to the fight. As Maya looked out at a crowd of supporters one evening, she thought of that holding room and the man who had underestimated her. "I'm not just a victim," she said to herself. "I'm a catalyst.